Imagine an island covered in one of the last untouched rainforests on Earth. Now imagine that same island hosting a 16 million container megaport, a 3.3-kilometer international runway, 2 brand new cities, gas power plants, solar farms, cruise tourism, and military bases, all at once. This is not science fiction. This is India's $10 billion Great Nicobar Island development project. Supporters call it India's gateway to the Indo-Pacific. Critics call it an ecological point of no return. And today, you and I are going deep, deeper than headlines, deeper than politics, to understand why India is betting big on this remote island, how this project could reshape global shipping routes, why the Indian Navy is central to it, and why environmentalists say the cost may be irreversible. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some officials quietly call Great Nicobar India's future Hong Kong. But first, where exactly is Great Nicobar, and why does it matter so much? Where Great Nicobar sits, and why the world cares. Great Nicobar Island is not just another Indian island. It is India's southernmost territory, sitting just 9 kilometers north of the equator. To its east lies the 6-degree Channel, one of the most important maritime corridors on Earth. Every year, around 96,000 ships pass through this channel on their way to and from China, Japan, South Korea, Southeast Asia, Europe, the Middle East. Right now, most of that cargo is handled by foreign ports: Singapore, Colombo, Port Klang. India, despite being a global trade giant, mostly watches from the sidelines. Great Nicobar is India's answer to that problem. It sits just 150 kilometers from Indonesia's Sumatra, making it the closest Indian landmass to Southeast Asia. In simple terms, control Great Nicobar, influence the world's busiest sea lanes. And that brings us to the master plan. The $10 billion master plan. What is India actually building? In 2021, India's policy think tank Niti Aayog proposed something massive: a 30-year holistic development plan for Great Nicobar Island. Total cost? 72,000 to 81,000 crore rupees, roughly $9 to $10 billion. Total planned area? 166 square kilometers. This isn't one project. It's 4 mega projects fused into one. 1. A global container megaport. 2. A dual-use international airport. 3. Energy infrastructure. 4. 2 brand new coastal cities. Let's break them down, starting with the heart of the entire plan. Galathea Bay Megaport, India's shipping game-changer. At the center of this vision is the Galathea Bay International Container Transshipment Terminal. This port is designed to handle 16 million TEUs per year, once fully built. That puts it in the same league as Singapore, Shanghai, Busan Phase 1. Capacity, 4 million TEUs. Target completion, 2028. Investment, 44,000 crore rupees. This will be built under a 50-year public-private partnership. Key rule? At least 51% Indian ownership. No foreign port operators allowed. Major bidders include Adani Ports, JSW Infrastructure, Container Corporation of India, SR, RVNL. Why here? Because Galathea Bay sits right next to global shipping lanes. Instead of ships detouring hundreds of kilometers to Singapore or Colombo, Great Nicobar offers a straight-line stop. And that means lower fuel costs, faster turnaround, strategic control. But ports don't work alone. They need air connectivity. That brings us to the airport. Great Nicobar International Airport, civil plus military. Right beside Galathea Bay, India plans a brand new greenfield airport. Key specs: 3,300-meter runway, wide-body aircraft capable, dual use, civilian plus military. Cost: 8,573 crore rupees. Built by the Airports Authority of India, This airport changes everything. Right now, the nearest major airport is over 500 kilometers away. In emergencies, military operations, or disaster response, that delay matters. This airport will cut response time drastically, support tourism, enable long-range military aircraft. It also complements INS Baz, India's existing naval airbase at Campbell Bay. Together, they create one of India's strongest forward operating zones in the Indo-Pacific. And an airport needs power, lots of it. Powering a new island: gas, solar, and storage. To support ports, airports, cities, and bases, India is building a new energy backbone. Planned infrastructure includes 450-megawatt gas-based power plant with LNG supply, large-scale solar farms, battery energy storage systems. In 2025, NTPC invited bids for 5-megawatt solar plant, 4 to 12 megawatt-hours battery storage. The goal? Eliminate constant diesel, provide stable grid power, support future urban growth. And that growth is enormous. 2 new coastal cities, from 8,000 to 350,000 people. Today, Great Nicobar's population is around 8,000. By 2050, planners estimate 350,000 people. By 2075, up to 650,000 residents. 2 new cities are planned, one on the southeast coast and one on the southwest coast. These cities include housing, hospitals, schools, hotels and resorts, cruise terminals, ecotourism facilities. Activities promoted include kayaking, snorkeling, coastal tourism, river cruises. But here's where the story turns, because this island is not empty land. It's the environmental and tribal cost. Great Nicobar is one of India's most ecologically sensitive regions. The project requires diversion of approximately 130 square kilometers of forest, felling approximately 850,000 trees, clearing parts of Galathea Bay National Park. This forest is home to leatherback sea turtles, Nicobar megapode, Nicobar macaque, saltwater crocodiles. Galathea Bay is one of the last major leatherback turtle nesting sites in the Indian Ocean. And then there are the people. The island is a protected tribal reserve under Indian law. Indigenous communities include Shompen, a particularly vulnerable tribal group, Nicobarese. In 2025, the Tribal Council withdrew its earlier approval, stating, "They were not fully informed. Consent was not meaningful." The government insists no tribal displacement will occur. All protections under law will be enforced. To monitor this, authorities created 3 monitoring committees. A high-power committee under the NGT 42 environmental clearance conditions. Still, critics argue, once roads, ports, and cities arrive, is isolation ever truly possible again? Which brings us to the final question. Final verdict: strategic masterstroke or irreversible risk? The Great Nicobar project is not just infrastructure. It is a geopolitical statement. For India, it offers strategic control of sea lanes, reduced dependence on foreign ports, military reach in the Indo-Pacific, economic integration with ASEAN. But it also carries massive ecological loss, cultural disruption, long-term uncertainty. Supporters see India's future Hong Kong. Critics see a fragile paradise under threat. And the truth? It likely sits somewhere in between. What happens next depends on environmental enforcement, tribal protection, transparent governance. Because Great Nicobar will not just shape India's future, it will shape the balance of power across the Indian Ocean. If you want a deep dive into another megaproject reshaping global power, watch the next video on your screen. And tell me in the comments, is Great Nicobar a necessary strategic move or a step too far? This is Deep Frame, and I'll see you in the next frame of the future.